Red October has come and gone, but with Team Toyota's home field advantage, you'll score even more savings this offseason. Choose from our winning lineup of new Toyotas, like Corollas, Camrys, RAV4s, and Highlanders, all in stock for immediate delivery. Or ship over 200 certified used Toyotas with MVP pricing to deliver quality and value. And when it comes to service and collision repair, our team gets you back in the game fast. So visit us in Langhorne, Princeton, or Glen Mills, or take a swing online at teamtoyota.net. How's it going? You're listening and or watching the Phillies Talk podcast presented by Team Toyota. That is Sean Kane, the producer of Phillies pre- and post-game live. I am Spencer McKercher, producer and co-host of the pod. Per usual. If you are listening, you guys, we kind of forgot intros last time, so had to bring back the intro. Right. So welcome in. Hope everyone's having a great week. Happy Friday to everyone. There's a lot to get into, Sean Kane.
Yes.
But how's everything going for right now? I guess in Phillies world, it's pretty quiet.
All quiet. Yep.
Baseball world is kind of heating up. The stove's getting a little hot.
A little bit. Josh Naylor back to the Mariners. That was something, right?
Little something.
Yeah.
Did you see
Taylor Ward got traded?
Taylor Ward.
Get ahead of ourselves here. We'll
get into Taylor Ward getting traded to the Orioles for Grayson Rodriguez. Kind of a big trade, an interesting trade for the Orioles.
Yeah.
But first, before we get going, get into Phillies and baseball world, you and I and Amy Fadul and our friend Casey Feeney went up to Madison Square Garden, watched some hoops. It was a good time.
We did, yeah. A little doubleheader, college basketball Tuesday night. First game, Kentucky, Michigan State. Amy, a big Kentucky fan, Kentucky graduate. Did not go well for her.
Did not.
They lost by double digits to Michigan State. But then the nightcap, yourself and Casey, who produces our Flyers games here, are both big Duke guys.
That's right.
And a nice win for them over Kansas. I was kind of just neutral, taking in some hoops. But it was fun. Nice trip up there. You know, a little train issue getting home, but we made it. Took the train home with Jared McCain's parents, which was cool.
That's really what I want to get into. It was a great time up in Madison Square Garden in New York. Shout out to the Dukies.
Yes.
If you've listened to the pod, we talked about Cooper Flagg, my love for him, and the Dukies before. So good win for them. But train issues. So what time did you roll into your house?
I got home, I guess it was Wednesday morning at 3:30 a.m., which for a guy my age really can throw off your whole week. I had the bus stop at 7:30. Had a lunch meeting for work at noon. Then I had to coach some 11-year-old basketball at night, and I was dragging, man. I caught up on some sleep last night as we sit here on Thursday night, but that's tough, man. You know, I can't roll out at 3:30 in the morning like I used to.
Walking in, like you said. There was a time where walking in 3:30 in the morning was okay. I'm going to get to that point where I'm toast today still.
Yeah.
It's always the next day after. But it's still all around good time. So
it was fun.
Kick off with that.
Yes.
But, so in this pod, a lot to talk about. We're going to kind of give a little recap around baseball, some Phillies news as well. And then we're going to get into ranking where some of the top 15 free agents, where they're going to land and some contract options for them and our predictions for where these guys are going to go, because like we said, the stove is getting hot, and you kicked it off with Josh Naylor. I thought it was really funny. Did you see the whole thing where Jeff Passan reported that the Pirates kind of want to be spenders this offseason, which we haven't really seen in quite a long time. And some of the Pirates fans went out and said, hey, they might offer Josh Naylor some big money so we can raise the banner in Pirates land in Pittsburgh they offered a big name or a big name free agent, a huge contract.
Yeah. And they're going to be in on Schwarber now too. Seems like a lot of PR spin coming out of the Pirates organization. My take is they caught some flack with Skeens winning the Cy Young. All the talk was, this guy's going to be out of there soon. How long until he signs with the Yankees? So I feel like they have taken upon themselves to kind of get the momentum of, hey, we're going to be players. We're going to start spending. We're going to keep this guy, and I'll believe it when I see it. A, that they'll spend, and B, that Paul Skeens will be a Pirate for the rest of his career. But interesting that they're suddenly throwing themselves out there as free agent spenders.
It is very interesting. But good for the Mariners. Good for Josh Naylor.
Josh Naylor's a gamer, man. He was huge in the postseason. He can hit.
My favorite clip of Josh Naylor is, I think it was like either the COVID year or it was early 2021 when he had a huge home run against the White Sox. There's no one there. And he's rounding third, and someone, I think it was someone with the Guardians organization social and they were kind of down below in the dugout. And Josh Naylor came in, and he is just like the most fired up human being I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah.
Threw his helmet like down the steps, and Stephen Kwan's like ducking out of the way.
Yep.
So good for Josh Naylor.
Yeah.
Deservingly so. 5-year deal for him. On that Mariners team, man, we talked about it in our kind of playoff prediction podcast. They're going to be dangerous. And if they can kind of bring back some of those big name guys, and it sounds like the Mariners really want to bring back the team from last year that got to the ALCS, was a few innings away from going to their first World Series ever. They could be a little scary, and Josh Naylor is the first name off the books.
I agree. No, I'm high on them. They were this close to going to the World Series, and not to make this Mariners talk, but believe it or not, Spence, they're celebrating their 50th season next year.
Wow,
a lot of hoopla over that. So could year number 50 maybe be their first World Series appearance? That would be something. But yeah, Josh Naylor, and then Taylor Ward, dude. I'm sitting in Penn Station at 1 a.m. on Wednesday, and my co-host sitting next to me, pulls out the phone and shows me that, and I was surprised to see that traded to the Orioles for Grayson Rodriguez. Taylor Ward in our last podcast I identified as a potential trade target for the Phillies, some right-handed outfield pop, but he's going to an Orioles team that all of a sudden their lineup, they want to get back on track in that tough division AL East after a disappointing year, and they got some guys, the Orioles, when healthy, that can swing the bats a little bit, and Taylor Ward certainly qualifies.
That he is, and for a player like Grayson Rodriguez, I thought it was interesting. I mean, he's battling injuries. He missed most of 2025, but in reality, he was their top pitching prospect.
Yeah.
And a lot of hype around Grayson Rodriguez. He had a solid 2024 season for them when they kind of failed expectations a little bit. And especially last year when they really failed expectations and were one of the worst teams in baseball. But to send a guy like that, does that kind of open the trade market, in your opinion, in terms of, hey, like a guy like Taylor Ward went for really a top pitching prospect in all of baseball?
Yeah, for sure. No, yeah. I mean, there aren't a lot of right-handed free agent outfielders. So I think if you're looking to trade for one, the asking price is going to be pretty high because it's certainly a seller's market, as you just laid out. So yeah, now are the Angels in sell mode? Are they Joe Adell, is he going somewhere now, or are they more likely to hold on to him now? It'll be interesting to see how they go about their offseason. I think a lot of teams will be checking in on them, the Phillies included, because I do think the Phillies can match up well with some needs that each team has. So we shall see. But yeah, Taylor Ward, I was a little bummed. I thought maybe he might be coming to Philadelphia, or at least there was a chance, but you can cross him off early in the offseason. He'll be in Baltimore.
And you mentioned it too. There's not a lot of right-handed bats, and we mentioned in the last podcast, there's not a lot of right-handed bats in the free agent market, and really in the trade market now, the top two are Joe Adell and Byron Buxton.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like you said, the Angels could be sellers, which would be interesting. You still have Mike Trout. But Joe Adell is a name out there that is really intriguing for the Phillies.
Yeah.
I could see them kind of going out, maybe pursuing Joe Adell, but I think Byron Buxton would be high on their list if he ends up waiving that no trade clause. But again, the injuries and all that stuff, we hit on that in the last podcast. But it is interesting to see the first domino being to fall is Taylor Ward. And it's interesting, growing up an Orioles fan, for those of you who don't know, grew up in the kind of just north of Baltimore, but in Pennsylvania, grew up going to a lot of Orioles fans. So I have a lot of Orioles fans that are friends of mine. And they're kind of confused because they just gave Tyler O'Neill a 3-year, $50 million contract last offseason. And then they go and get basically the same bat in Taylor Ward. So don't really know what the Orioles are doing. But again, podcast, but it is interesting.
It is interesting to see how they're going about it. But I mean, that division, the Blue Jays obviously are the defending AL champs. You got the Yanks and the Red Sox. They're trying to load up, and now they'll be in the market for some pitching, the Orioles, and that could lead us into later in the podcast when we talk about some of the landing spots for these guys, Ranger included.
Bingo.
Wouldn't shock me if they're in on Ranger. So we shall see. But yeah, interesting move by the Orioles, and we'll see where the Angels go from here. And you mentioned Buxton. I know we talked a lot about him in our last podcast. He just would be perfect, but the asking price on him would be pretty high. I mean, the Phillies would have to part ways with some big-time prospects. I know your guy Eden Miller would be on their wish list, among others. So who knows? Who knows if they can go there, if they're confident enough in his ability to stay healthy to make that happen. But the outfield shakeup's coming for the Phils. It's just a matter of what's it going to look like.
Little matter of time. So now to Phillies world. There's some news in the offseason early here, as we're about, 2-3 weeks away from the, 3 weeks away.
Winter meetings.
From the winter meetings. So things are going to heat up pretty quickly here for the hot stove. But in Phillies world, some big news. We'll start with the Field of Dreams game, which we knew about. They are playing the Twins.
Yep.
might see Mick Abel. But heading out to Iowa, looking forward to that. But in reality, it's the TV deals. MLB just came out with a whole new TV deal. Shout out to NBC. They're getting Sunday Night Baseball. That's going to be a lot of fun. I'm glad we've seen what NBC's done with the NBA so far. So I'm excited to see what their plans are for Sunday Night Baseball. So ESPN does not have Sunday Night Baseball anymore. NBC will have it. But that Field of Dreams game is now going to be on Netflix. Interesting. Netflix coming to the baseball world, man. They got money to spend, so it'll be interesting to see how much more they're getting involved in the rights deals as the years go on. Obviously, all these rights deals are kind of short term. Like they're up for renegotiation, I believe, in 2029. Obviously, you have the labor issue hanging over baseball, so a lot of unknowns there. But yeah, as an NBC employee that we both are, and as an older guy, you probably don't remember NBC baseball. I do as a kid, like Kirk Gibson, 88 World Series. That was all NBC. They had a lot of games, they had a lot of playoff games, even into the 90s. I remember watching on NBC. They did a great job. Bob Costas called a lot of those games. So yeah, I think NBC is going to do a great job with the Sunday night. They have the playoffs too now. The first round of the playoffs. They've done a great job with basketball. So I'm excited to see what NBC does. And yeah, Netflix entering the fold and ESPN still in the mix. On the periphery, obviously, of some local and some national broadcasts. So a good deal for baseball. Seems like it was a well-received deal all around, and we'll see how it all plays out. But pretty exciting just from an NBC standpoint. It is. And Netflix then, so they're going to have opening day as well. They have the Field of Dreams game, as we mentioned, and they also have the Home Run Derby.
The Derby in Philadelphia.
Which is going to be exciting. I cannot wait for July, man. It's going to be an exciting time in Philadelphia as a whole, celebrating the 250th anniversary of America. You got the World Cup. You even got the PGA Championship coming in May.
Yes.
A lot of exciting things coming to Philadelphia, but the Home Run Derby on Netflix here in Philadelphia.
At the bank.
It's gonna be awesome. But excited to see what Netflix has with their baseball coverage. I know might hurt, my parents. My dad is going to have to lock in a little bit more on
I hear you, Mr. McKercher. You need 18 different streaming services to watch baseball, and all sports, not just baseball. I'm with them. And I've complained to you, and you've compared me to your dad in that when you're watching one of these streaming things, you can't just change the channel. You have to come back out to the main menu. It's just, old guy like me, the old time, the cable, you hit the remote, you had the channels lined up. It's great. But now you got to come in and out of these streaming services. I tell you, it's a real hassle.
One day, it's basically just going to be cable again. It has to.
Yeah, with all the different streaming. Yeah,
it's insane because I know what Peacock and Apple TV are now.
Well, Apple TV keeps the Friday night games, and Peacock now, which they originally had the Sunday morning games, they get back on that Sunday morning.
Sweet.
That was on Roku last year. It's back on Peacock,
which is another whole thing.
Yes. Yeah. So no, it's a lot of different avenues to watch baseball. But the good news, Spence, which we should emphasize, we're not going anywhere at NBC Sports Philadelphia.
That's exactly right, baby.
We will have the Phillies games, the pre-games, the post-games for the vast majority of the Phillies schedule in 2026. So not finalized yet. That includes spring training, of course. We'll kick that off in late February and through March, all the way up to opening day at the end of March. And we'll go from there. Of course, NBC 10 will have some games as well. But we'll have you covered, man. Main channel, Plus channel. We're the home for Phillies baseball. And, of course, there'll be some national games sprinkled in, as there always is. But you can bank on us having, 145 to 150 games every year.
You got starting right?
We'll be here, man.
Right. Can't wait.
Yeah.
The crew, it's going to be here before we know it.
Yeah,
Looking forward to that.
Crazy.
Other Phillies news real quick.
Yes.
So in the 2026 MLB draft, the Phillies actually dropped 10 spots. They are now selecting at 36th.
Okay.
And that is because they exceeded the second surcharge threshold of the competitive balance tax.
Second apron. Yes.
Going to drop down 10 spots. Again, we know how the MLB draft works.
Right.
Don't know how big of an impact that is, but significant news.
Right. And now if, for instance, Ranger were to sign elsewhere, they do extend the qualifying offer, they would get draft compensation for that. Same with JT and Schwarber. So that would help them out a little bit. But yeah, they get penalized a little bit for exceeding that second luxury tax, which I don't know. I think fans and me personally, I'm okay with that. They're going to spend some money. I'm okay with the draft pick dropping 10 spots, especially if it's at the end of the first round anyway. In baseball, it's more of a, I don't want to say crapshoot, but certainly not a sure thing with some of these picks. So go spend the money, try to win right now and deal with the draft penalty when you get there. But yeah, an interesting way that baseball tries to discourage teams from going over that apron, but it is what it is.
It is what it is. It is what it is. It's right. Other news real quick. Andrew Painter, Alex McFarland, and Gabriel Rincones Jr. added to the 40-man roster. kind of big news.
Mhm.
Now the 40-man sits at 33 players currently.
Okay.
What does that entail for guys like Andrew Painter, McFarland, and Gabriel Rincones?
Yeah, obviously Painter, I thought it was kind of a formality. Obviously, you want to protect him. He's on the 40-man. I think he's on the 26-man coming out of Clearwater.
Same.
Unless, barring any unforeseen injury or just ineffectiveness.
Struggles.
But I think it's go time for Andrew Painter. Rincones is very interesting. Dave Dombrowski went out of his way to mention him.
He did.
At the end of season press conference, along with some other guys that they're high on, some other young guys. So, yeah, interesting guy, prospect that we've talked about, has some pop in the outfield. So, and yeah, McFarland, obviously they're high on him as well. So, yeah, I wasn't surprised by any of those three additions to the 40-man. Obviously, if you leave guys off the 40-man, they become eligible for the Rule 5 draft, and you don't want that. You want them secured here. They view all three of those guys as, hopefully long-term fits and to varying degrees of helping out possibly in 2026 as well.
I think we, at some point, will see both Gabriel Rincones and Andrew Painter.
Mm-hmm.
We could see Alex McFarland make an appearance in the bullpen at some point next season as well. But it's significant news because now, with them being added to the 40-man, throws in a whole different range of options in terms of contracts and all that fun stuff. So
yeah,
significant news for the Phillies in that front.
Mm-hmm.
Other real quick news, Maikel Franco will be a free agent. He played this year in, I believe, Korea.
Wow.
So Maikel Franco is not returning to Korea. He is a free agent.
Interesting.
Might see Maikel Franco back in the major leagues after a pretty decent year in Korea for the Golden Eagles.
Okay.
But yeah, just thought that was hilarious. And another quick news, our guy, Travis Jankowski, wanted to mention this in the last podcast, but he just retired from baseball. So Janko from Lanco.
From Lanco. Ben Davis christened him with that name. He was a great. He was a pinch runner and defensive replacement for the Phillies a few years back. He's bounced around a little bit. How old is Mike Franco? I thought you had it in front of you. I'm sorry to put you on the spot.
I did not.
Obviously, he was young when he came up, but that's like 12 years ago now.
Maikel Franco is 33.
It makes sense. Okay.
That makes sense.
Interesting.
Yeah. So about the same age as Kyle Schwarber.
Yep. Okay.
Interesting
Indeed. Mike Franco. Forget about that era of Phillies baseball before the Tommy Joseph, Mike Franco, Cody Ashe days, in those mid to 2000s after Ruben exited and early on in the Clintac days. It was rough, but they got through it.
Hey, and if Alec Boehm, ends up getting traded,
you need a third baseman.
Could need a third baseman.
Call Mike Franco. He knows the way to Philadelphia.
That he does.
Yeah.
That he does.
Mm-hmm.
And last bit of Phillies news before we get into some free agents here. I don't know if you saw, but our guys, Edmundo Sosa and Christopher Sanchez, together traveling Europe.
Wow.
We're going to throw in some pictures here.
Okay.
They were in the Eiffel Tower, hanging out. They're enjoying some wine in wine country in Italy.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good time. So I wanted to ask you, Sean Kane.
Yes.
If you could pick any Phillies player to go to Europe with, who would that be?
I mean, I can't imagine a European tour with slick Nick Castellanos going around, him showing you the sights. Max Kepler from Germany has some ties there. But in terms of the fun factor, the two guys that are over there now would be fun.
Good time.
I feel like Marsh would be a good time over there in Europe. Ranger, I think, would be a good time over there as well. Who else? I'm trying to think, like coaching staff or anybody like that I think would be Bader. I think Bader would be fun over there.
Would be interesting.
Yeah. How about you? Who comes to mind if you had to take a European vacation with one of the guys in the squad?
There's two names. The first one, pretty obvious in my opinion.
Okay.
I don't know how much sightseeing you would get done. I think you would, but imagine going over there with Garrett Stubbs.
With your guy Stubbs, yeah.
It'd be so much fun.
Yeah.
You'd have such a great time.
Yeah.
Him kind of going around with the sights, and then obviously a little wine tour with Stubby would be a good time.
Funneling some beers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Head over to Germany for a little Oktoberfest with Garrett Stubbs.
Yeah.
I can't imagine anything better.
No, that'd be fun.
And then another fun one, Kyle Schwarber.
Yeah.
I think
true.
Kyle would really appreciate some of the art over there.
Mm-hmm.
I could just see Kyle Schwarber enjoying the history over there and everything. Right. I think it'd be a great time with Kyle Schwarber over in Europe.
There you go.
The Barian.
I mean, Bryce would be. He's a worldly guy, Bryce, I think he would enjoy it over there.
Bryce would love it over there.
Deep thinker, yeah, for sure. Yeah,
but if I could be...
Sosa and Sanchi, though,
that's what I'm saying. If I could just be a fly on the wall, just hanging with those guys right now, traveling to Europe with their wives, it'd be
right.
a hell of a time.
That would be cool. Very cool.
It'd be a hell of a time. So now, real quick, we do have a new ad read. Philly Sports Trips, we're back, dude. We're not talking, the birds or anything like that. but we're talking spring training already. So quick ad read with them, and then, of course, our friends over at Temple Health. Sean Kane, the holidays are right around the corner. Do you need some holiday gift inspiration?
Who doesn't? Absolutely.
Well, escape the cold and catch the Phillies in Clearwater with NBC Sports Philadelphia and Phillies Sports Trips. We're teaming up to bring fans the most unforgettable Phillies spring training experience yet. This trip includes Phillies game tickets, beachfront accommodations, round-trip travel, all-inclusive tailgates, and much more. Plus, appearances from Larry Boa, Charlie Manuel, and NBC Sports Philadelphia's own Ben Davis.
Wow.
Can you imagine Benny down there with the fellas?
That's a party. Charlie, Larry, and Ben down there. I mean, sign me up. It looks like an awesome trip.
You and I will be down there. Book your trip today at phillysportstrips.com.
Hey, T-Mac, another great day. Best fans, the best city. How lucky are we?
It doesn't get much better than this. But I got to tell you, our guy missed a lot of the game last night. I think he missed almost a full inning going to the bathroom.
Yeah, I noticed. I mean, he said he kept feeling like he had to go, and then nothing would come out.
I think he went back 3 times before the 7th inning. Now, that's more than just having too many beer baths.
Nope, it sounds like BPH. It's more common than you think.
Well, it's time to stop holding it about prostate health. Good thing we've got our friends at Temple Health who are way smarter about these things than we are. Let's let the doc explain. So, Doc, what's going on with our guy?
Sounds to me like he's got this problem called BPH, benign prostatic hyperplasia. It really means that guys just have trouble peeing.
But there's a solution to it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. At Temple Health, there are doctors that really specialize in BPH. Aquablation is one of those things that we offer that many people don't, and other things like prostate enucleation as well. Both of them are minimally invasive that really help guys.
And for most patients, they come out of it feeling fine.
Yeah, I think most patients have a really simple recovery that's straightforward.
Well, that's a big win, because it's better than going to the bathroom a dozen times during a ball game.
Oh, absolutely. These results for guys are long-lasting. Let's face it, prostate health shouldn't be keeping guys out of the game.
Hey, I ran into our guy again. No more backroom sprints. He's back in the game.
He told me it was like the most relief he's had in years, in more ways than one. I mean, he even stayed for extra innings.
Aquablation therapy at Temple Health. Get back in the game. Visit templehealth.org.
Welcome back to Phillies Talk, presented by Team Toyota. Kenner, if you, that'd be a hell of a gift to go down to spring training. You're hanging with guys like Larry Boa, Charlie Manuel, and of course our guy Ben Davis will be there.
Clearwater, yeah. You'll make your way down there at some point.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
We'll be there for that trip, I'm assuming. Always a good time in Clearwater.
Can't beat it, man.
And
Can't beat it.
I'm sure if you're listening, you either A, been down there, or B, have wanted to go down there for a long time.
Yeah.
If you're on the fence on going down, do it. It is a blast. I've gone down there. I haven't gone down there actually for like fun, but even through work, it is a blast. Clearwater is amazing.
Yep.
Baycare Ballpark and the entire facility is great. The access that fans have to the players, fantastic.
Yep.
And of course, got to give a shout out to the Palm Pavilion. If you haven't gone down there, or even if you have gone down there and you make your way to Clearwater Beach, you have to go to the Palm Pavilion. It is incredible. Shout out to our guy Drew down there. One of my favorite times. Me and Ricky Bowe have had our fair share of good times over at the Palm Pavilion down there.
Yeah, I'm with you. I used to go for work all the time. I've never gone down just to like go down as a fan, but I'm going to probably take my kids down at some point here in the next couple of years. Because you said it, like it's great. It's obviously the weather. You can't beat it after grinding through the winter up here. But then like to watch the Phillies play in like a minor league ballpark, to get that close to them, and then all the other fun stuff you can do. It's awesome. And it's you said it earlier, man. It'll be here before you know it.
It's going to be here before we know it. And I'm looking forward to it already. It's always a great time. So if you have any questions, Philly Sports Trips is your answer, and visit their website. So a little more ad read for them. All right, let's dive into it. We mentioned the stove is hot. It's warming up. We turned the burner on. We're heating up, getting ready to boil some water, whatever you want to do. But the stove is getting there, and it's obviously a fun time of the year if you're a baseball fan. And we mentioned in the last podcast, the last few years, it hasn't been as fun because it's really kind of taken a while to get the stove really hot.
Right.
We'll see where the stove kind of begins to get sizzling hot. I'm assuming maybe right around the winter meetings. We'll be down there. Looking forward to that, covering it down there. But let's start kind of diving into some top free agents. We'll include Ranger Suarez, JT Realmuto, and Kyle Schwarber as well.
Yep.
But to begin, I think the top free agent, in my opinion, right now is Kyle Tucker.
I would agree.
Give me your landing spot and maybe a projected contract, in your opinion, for Kyle Tucker.
So I think he'll be close to $500 million. I think he'll get close to that 500 mil, maybe not all the way there, but I think he's going to be in between 400 and 500, maybe closer to 500. And the landing spots are kind of the usual suspects that have that type of money to spend, and you're not going to like where I have him going. I think he's going to end up with the Dodgers. I think they have the ability to obviously pay him, also put him in right field, maybe move Teoscar to left, because Teoscar, as we saw, not the best defensive outfielder. So I think he's probably more of a home in left field, since obviously their DH spot is spoken for with Ohtani. Kike is a free agent. I think they bring him back. He played the bulk of left field in the postseason, but they can move him around, play him in different spots. So I think you're going to see Kyle Tucker in the middle of that Dodgers order, man, with Ohtani and Betts and Freeman and Teoscar and Tucker and Muncy. I think that's where he's going. I think he's going to end up as a Dodger.
And you want to talk about the threshold being exceeded. Goodness, they're not going to have any draft picks if they give him $500 million.
Yeah. Now, I'm sure they'll if he's up for it, they'll defer some of it.
100%.
Which they tend to do. But
100%.
Yeah, it's that's my guess. I mean, there's a lot of teams could be in play. People think the Phillies could be a dark horse. They certainly need outfield help. They could use his bat, but I don't think they have the five, especially if they're bringing back Schwarber and JT. I don't know that they can go $500 million for Kyle Tucker.
It'd be tough, man. It'd be tough. Now, what about years-wise? He's 29.
Yeah, I mean, trying to do the math, like annual average, 10, 11 years.
Yeah.
Take him to he's like 40-ish.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
I right now have him at a 10-year deal for around $430.
$430, okay.
So, do the math quick, $43 million per year.
Yeah.
I could see that. I won't say the Dodgers, though.
Okay.
I'm going to say the Blue Jays.
Ooh, okay.
They were looking at that kind of money for Shohei Ohtani last offseason. They have some holes out there. Obviously, coming off a World Series, defending American League champions.
Yeah.
But I could see the Blue Jays kind of spending some money on Kyle Tucker. Now, do they have $430 million? That's to be seen.
Right.
Will Kyle Tucker want to go to Toronto? That's also to be seen.
Yeah.
But I could see Kyle Tucker ending up with the Blue Jays for 10 years, $430 million.
Yeah.
But kind of bolster that outfield with George Springer. Should be fun.
It's a lot of money. And talk about another guy that has some health issues. Like, he's had trouble staying healthy the last couple of years. Like, I get the allure of him. He's got all the skills, but a lot of money to give to somebody that seems to be kind of banged up from time to time.
Yeah,
But,
he is. Ninth best hitter in baseball since 2021, according to WAR.
Okay.
So,
ninth best, you said?
Ninth best.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Should be fun.
Should be interesting.
We'll stick with the outfield now.
Okay.
We'll transition to Cody Bellinger. Coming off a decent year with the Yankees. He will be 30 once 2026 opening day rolls around. What do you think for Cody Bellinger?
Cody Bellinger, I think, stays with the Yankees.
Okay.
That's my guess. I think the Yankees obviously have some money. I think he's a good fit there with his versatility. He can play a number of positions. So, yeah, I like Bellinger. Obviously, if he doesn't go back to New York, I think the teams we've been talking about would be in play. I mean, he was a Dodger early in his career. I don't see that happening. But I like Bellinger staying in the Bronx. Contract-wise is interesting.
It is. Defending NL MVP, not defending, but a former NL MVP.
But he's also had some lows too.
Yes.
He's had some bad seasons, but now he seems to have bounced back from that. Spent a year with the Cubs. I don't know. What do you think Bellinger gets? 150 from somebody? Is that a little rich? Maybe, I don't know.
I don't know. I to be honest, right now I have him at 5 years, $160 million.
Okay,
I could see that.
yeah.
I have him also going to the Yankees, but another team out there that would terrify me, the Mets.
Yeah.
Just goes right over to Long Island, Queens, hang out over there. Could stick in New York. But yeah, I got 6 years, 5 years, I guess, too, up there. But I can see Cody Bellinger. I mean, we know what Steve Cohen wants. He wants to spend money and improve that team.
Yeah.
Have Cody Bellinger in left field, Juan Soto in right field, and then whatever they do with Brandon Nimmo in center. But I could see the Mets kind of spending money and maybe even overpaying a guy like Cody Bellinger. It's because, like you said, since that, he was 23 years old when he won the 2019 NL MVP.
Yeah.
Hasn't really been the same player since. He's kind of seen some production over the last 2 years, but really kind of, like you said, kind of been up and down on the roller coaster.
Right.
But I could see him going to the Mets, which would just be brutal and kind of bolstering that lineup, especially if they lose a guy like Pete Alonso.
Yeah. It's funny, Bellinger and Yelich were right around that same time. They were the MVP guys. They were the two best players in the National League, and they're both now gone through their ups and downs. But yeah, I think Bellinger's going to cash in. His guy Boris has the funds ready, so I think he's going to cash in with somebody. Maybe he's closer to 160, 170, but we'll see. But I'm going to go sticking with the Yanks.
Yep, got you. The Yanks need we saw them bring back Trent Grisham already on a 1-year deal. Mm-hmm. Did you see that clip of the Yankees fan who called into like WFAN and he lost it?
No,
he was like losing his mind because they brought back Grisham. It was hilarious.
Grisham had a good year.
He had a great year. For them.
And Judge, who knows with his arm, his elbow, is he going to be playing a lot of outfield? Will he be DH? I know they still have Stanton, but they could use some outfield reinforcements.
That they could. All right, now we're sticking with the Scott Boras clients, but we'll move to the infield. A guy like Alex Bregman.
Alex Bregman, man, like I think there's a good chance he stays in Boston, but like for our sake, that's my dream scenario, so I'm going to stick with it. Phillies.
Ooh, baby.
I think the Phillies are in on one of these big guys, even if Schwarber comes back, which I think he will. I think the money's there. You know, John Middleton, the quote was, it's only money. Like, it's just money. They're going to go above and beyond what they can do. Third base is where I really think they can upgrade. I think you trade Bohm, some prospects for some bullpen help, some outfield help, and you open up that third base spot. And Bregman, man, to me, right-handed bat, which they need. They're left-handed heavy. Rob Thompson talked about that at the end of the season. Right-handed bat, position of need, middle of the lineup, postseason chops. He's been up and down in the postseason in his career, but he's won a World Series. I think Bregman is a great fit for the Phillies. Boras and Middleton and Dombrowski are all familiar with each other, so let's do it, man. Alex Bregman to the Phillies. Contract. Because he had $40 million a year with Boston.
He
right?
did.
He opted out.
It was $60 million in deferrals.
Yeah. Do they go? I don't know. Bregman's going to want a long-term deal, 6 years to something, right? I mean, it's going to be over $200 million, clearly.
Do you think so?
I shouldn't say clearly. I don't know. I mean, at that point, they're spending big money on Schwarber, and you're going to bring JT back. So 6 years, $200 million for Alex Bregman.
Okay, I like that. Well, so that would obviously entail a trade with Alec Bohm.
Right, as I mentioned, I think Bohm and the prospects are traded for outfield help, maybe bullpen help, maybe a little of both. Bohm being the centerpiece. I think he's the most likely guy to move on because I do think he has some value. He's a free agent in a year, Bohm, so you're not going to get a whole lot, but open up that third base, plug Bregman in there. And he kind of fits in the timeline of this group. You know, his age, what's he like? 30-ish?
He'll be 32 on opening day.
Okay. Yeah. So, you move Bohm, you create that hole at third base. I think you can get something back for Bohm in the outfield, and here comes Bregman to play third base. That's my I'm not predicting this is going to happen, which I guess we were technically doing. That's my ideal scenario for the Phillies is Alex Bregman coming to town.
I like it.
That's the splash.
I like it. That would be a big splash.
Yes.
Boras guy, too, coming in here and just solidifying a lineup where he had 18 home runs, had an I think he had an 880 OPS last offseason or last season. Had 18 homers, but you're not looking for power, especially if you bring back Kyle Schwarber. You need guys that consistently can get hits, and Alex Bregman is that guy. For me, I'm looking at 5 years, $160 million for Bregman.
Okay,
a little
probably
cheaper than you.
Million. I think that's right.
Still $32 million around there, I guess, in AAV. But I think a team, I would love him with the Phillies. The Phillies are my second option, but I think a team like the Tigers, you came in, you were the basically the best team in baseball for the majority of the season.
Yeah.
You collapsed, you lost the division. Adding a guy like Alex Bregman to go with a guy like Tarek Skubal, who God knows what they're going to do with him. But adding a guy like Bregman to that Tigers lineup could really bolster a team that's young and hungry. We'll see what they do, but I see him going to the Tigers for 5 years, $160 million. But man, the Phillies would love that, especially if it is $160 million. It's really, in my opinion, like you said, you're going for around $200 million. If you get him for 160, that would be kind of sweet.
Yeah, and I don't know that teams will be offering him, as you said, he's going to be 32. Like maybe teams don't offer him 6 years and $200 million, so maybe the Phillies can get him for closer to 160, 170, which obviously would be a little more preferable. But yeah, I'm holding out hope that Bregman's the move.
Yep, I like it. All right. Now, we're going to stick in the infield, go to a team or the team that just won the American League title. Bichette will be 28 on opening day in 2026. What do you expect for Bichette?
I think Bo stays in Toronto. I think he stays there where he's spent his whole career to this point. I think he's another like $200 million guy. Like I think he's probably right in that range. I don't know, 7 years, 200 mil in that range. But yeah, he's had some injury concerns this past year, came back for the World Series, still delivered some big hits. I think he's a guy they want to keep. I think they think they're close, and obviously they are close. You can't come any closer than they came to winning a World Series. That's true. I think Bichette sticks in Toronto for right around 200 mil.
Cool. I'm with you. I think he stays in Toronto. Yeah, I got 4 years, $180 million, which would really boost his AAV. I don't see him leaving Toronto. 28 years old. Kind of obviously he battled that knee injury for most of the season, but came back from the World Series. They ended up, taking him out for the pinch runner for IKF. Ended up kind of biting him in the butt. But long story short, I'm with you in Bo Bichette returning to the Blue Jays. Trust me, how great would it be to have Bo Bichette here, slide him into that third base spot if you do end up getting rid of Alec Bohm in a trade. But I don't see him. I don't see the Phillies spending the money to get a guy like Bo Bichette. I see them going after a guy like Alex Bregman. I don't know necessarily about Bo Bichette, but
all right.
We're in agreement with the Blue Jays. Sticking with them. Stick in the infield one more time, but we're going to the NL East. Peter whatever.
Polar plunge.
Pete's
pursuers will be primed to pounce. Yes. Pete Alonso. Is he sticking with the Mets?
I
think so. I think, I hate to be boring and Bichette's going to stay with the Blue Jays, but I think Pete stays in New York. I think Pete's a New York guy. He's proven he can play there. Not everybody can. He went the 1 year, the opt-out route as well, is trying to cash in again long term. I think he will. I think he's going to cash in with the Mets. He's, getting up there in terms of what? He's also probably 31 without having it in front of me. But I think he stays. I think he plays some first base. I think he can play some designated hitter. I don't think Steve Cohen, who you mentioned earlier, is going to lose him. Barring, they bring in some other big bat like a Bellinger or whoever. But I think Pete Alonso is a good fit in New York. And unfortunately for Phillies fans, I think he's going to stay there long term. You?
So he signed that 1 year deal to come back last offseason.
Yeah.
Because they were kind of, I believe he was looking for around 150.
Okay.
And didn't really get there. I hope Pete Alonso doesn't return to the Mets. I'm going to say 5 years, $120 million for Pete Alonso, which a little cheaper, but I see the Red Sox going after him. They lose a guy like Alex Bregman. They're obviously going to be after Schwarber as well.
Yeah.
But I could see them maybe even going 130, maybe even 140 for Pete Alonso over 5 years. It'd be a great addition to that Red Sox lineup, especially after you lose Bregman. But, man, you add a guy like Pete Alonso into that lineup with a bunch of power.
That ballpark.
In that ballpark, right field.
Yeah.
left field over I was going to say left field over the monster.
Yeah.
Oh, man, it'd be scary.
Yeah.
Again, an option for the Phillies as well. You would have to figure out if you don't return or you don't get Kyle Schwarber, you move Kyle or Pete Alonso to the DH, or do you put him at first base, move Bryce back to right field?
That would shake up the outfield. And I think that's not far-fetched. I think Schwarber's coming back. But, yeah, that would be a great plan B. Oh, wow, we lost Schwarber. He's gone. Well, here comes Alonso. He's a right-handed bat. He's in the middle of the order. And, put him at first. And also, if Schwarber goes, which I don't think he is, that would give them flexibility with the DH spot. Harper could DH 30 games a year. Trey Turner could DH. JT could DH quite a bit. Let Marshawn catch some more games, keep JT in the lineup. So that would be a silver lining to losing Kyle Schwarber, which would be pretty horrific for the Phillies right now. But, and then Alonso comes in. He can play some first, put Harper to right, put Alonso DH, because Harper has said, hey, I'll do it, but I want to stay in touch with first base. I don't want to, not play first anymore. So it's just a way for them to kind of mix things around. So that's not crazy to me that Alonso could be a backup plan.
I could see that. And that's the thing, because I feel like the market is leaning towards left-handed bats, like a guy like Kyle Schwarber. So it's going to be interesting to see guaranteed money and even the AAV.
Yeah.
Kyle Schwarber and Pete Alonso. I think it could be fairly close. I think Schwarber will get more money
than Alonso. I do too.
Than Alonso, but it's not far.
Yeah,
in my opinion, I think it'll be kind of close in terms of AAV and in total value, but especially guaranteed money.
Yeah, and nobody cares about the home run derby more than Pete Alonso, and it's in Philly. Are you kidding me? First year Philly going all out to win that thing. That'd be great, man.
That'd be fantastic.
I feel like he's on the short list of I can't stand Pete. Phillies fans talk about Pete, which I get. He's kind of a weird dude. Yeah. He's a Met. I don't know. I like him. He can hit, man.
Yeah,
and he plays hard. I don't know. I like Pete Alonso.
We've had the debate in here, and I don't want to basically say what I've said off camera just in case Pete Alonso does become a Philadelphia Philly.
Yeah.
I think he's a dork.
No, poor Pete, man.
I think he's a dork.
Poor Pete is primed to be a Philadelphia. Eat some pretzels.
Pete's primed Philadelphia. Sure.
Poor Pete. Calling him a dork.
Yeah, I mean,
oh man,
in the nicer way to say it.
Yeah,
in the nicer way to say it. But man, he'd be a great dork to have in this lineup.
Yeah,
I'll tell you that much.
Yep, and you make your division rival weaker in the process.
Exactly. Which that's kind of what they're hoping for.
Yeah,
down the stretch. All right, we'll stick with the Mets real quick before we get into really the top 3 Phillies. A guy like Edwin Diaz.
Yeah,
free agent market. Obviously, the torn ACL really kind of hindered all the momentum that he had coming off a fantastic year with the trumpets and all that fun stuff. But what about Edwin Diaz, free agent?
Yeah, I think he stays too. I think they want to keep him. He's kind of become a fan favorite there, obviously, and a huge part of their bullpen. So, and I saw an interview recently where he said it's like 50-50. Maybe that's just kind of lip service to drum up the market or drive up the price. But I'd be very surprised if he goes elsewhere, Edwin Diaz, because their bullpen, they tried to make some additions last year, and it did not go well, those guys they brought in. Helsley, that was a disaster for them. And really, Diaz is like the one guy they most of the time can count on. So I'd be shocked if they let him go, because then their bullpen would be just a giant question mark.
And it's so funny, we had that debate on the live podcast during the trade deadline, and I remember John Clark being like, man, that Mets bullpen might be better than the Phillies, even with the addition of Duran.
Yeah.
That came back and bite him in the butt.
No.
So I think I'm with you with the Mets trying to bring back Edwin Diaz, but I don't see him going there. I see him going to the Dodgers for 4 years, $80 million.
Yeah, they need it.
I could 110% see that. $20 million AAV. That's the thing, though. So it'll be 32, I believe. I just had it pulled up in front of me.
Dodgers do with Sasaki next year? Do they try to work him back into the rotation? Do they keep him in the bullpen? Because he was the best of a bad bullpen by far.
He was, and he kind of struggled in the starting rotation. Kind of came out to that slow start, tearing up in the bullpen or in the dugout after some poor performances. But then he came back and really was solid in that bullpen for the Dodgers. But I think if you solidify that, if you're the Dodgers, you need bullpen help.
Yeah,
whether Roki Sasaki's in there or not.
Yeah.
So I think bringing in a guy like Edwin Diaz, solidifying the back end of that bullpen, kind of having a guy similar to Kenley Jensen, where it was just like, hey, he comes in here and good luck.
Yeah.
But for the sake of being a Phillies fan, I hope that doesn't happen. But I also hope we haven't seen the Edwin Diaz in years past. So maybe a fresh start for him could change a little bit of things for them. But yeah, like you said, he will be 32. So we'll see how many years he has left. So I think 5 years for around $80 million, $20 million in average annual value for Mr. Trumpet. All right, now let's dive into it. Before we get to the big fish, it was funny, actually. I saw one of the comments on YouTube. They were cracking up at you being like, I asked you in the last podcast, what's the percentage of Ranger Suarez returning to the Phillies? You said 5%. And I didn't even try it. It was the very first. It was kind of just instinct. Damn.
Yeah.
All right. Which confirmed with some higher ups here at NBC Sports Philadelphia. You can say Dan. You can say Dan on a podcast, which is kind of cool. Didn't know that. But yeah. So Ranger Suarez, where does he end up, and what's your contract for Ranger?
I'm sticking. 5% seems right. Still, I haven't budged off that. I mean, I probably, if anything, I might even go lower. I just don't see any way he's back. I think he's going to go to the highest bidder, and I think some teams are really in need of some pitching. We mentioned the Orioles earlier. Like, they got to get some pitching. They have some money to spend. Toronto, I think, would love to have Ranger. So maybe he's in the AL East somewhere. Boston is another team, I think, that could use some pitching. So there'll be some teams bidding against each other for Ranger, man. So I think Ranger's getting $160 million himself in that range. Because, again, he's had some injury issues, but generally I think you count on him making 25 to 30 starts, a lefty, and who's like not relying on velocity. Like, if Ranger loses a tick off his fastball as he goes into his 30s, I think he can still pitch. He's proven he can still pitch. Fields his position. Great postseason performer. Not to be Scott Boras here, but I just think he's going to. He keeps himself in shape. I think he's going to age pretty well. Avoid some serious injuries. So yeah, I like Ranger going to one of those AL East teams. I'll say, for the argument, Baltimore.
Okay. Baltimore, interesting. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah. I could see them overpaying him.
Yeah.
I could see the Orioles definitely overpaying Ranger. I think the big debate is years, because the injury history. But then it comes down to, I think he will. I think we've mentioned it a million times, but him bringing Scott Boras or becoming a Scott Boras client really changes that. And I think $100 million is definitely in play for Ranger Suarez.
Oh, yeah.
Now, years-wise, I'll go 5 years. So he'll be 30 on opening day in 2026.
Okay.
Years-wise, so that takes him to his year 35. 5 years, $110 million.
Okay. Interesting. All right.
And I
think it's be higher than that.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. It just depends. It depends on years, I think, too. Depends how much AAV you want to give him per year.
Yeah.
But I mentioned on the last podcast, I see the Blue Jays solidifying their rotation as well.
Yep.
You got Bieber, you got Kevin Gausman, you got guys who else am I missing?
Savage.
Exactly. Trey Savage.
Yeah,
exactly. So you add a guy like Ranger Suarez into an already deep rotation like that.
Is Bassett back with them?
I believe Bassett is back. I know Scherzer's obviously
right
on a 1 year deal, so he's also a free agent.
Yep.
But man, you bring back Max, who struggled in the first half of the season, kind of turned it on late. Adding a guy like Ranger Suarez to that Blue Jays rotation would really solidify that.
Yeah.
I'm still getting 20% comes back for the Phillies, but it would be such a shame to lose Ranger Suarez.
Yeah.
All right, now the big fish, Kyle Schwarber. We've mentioned it before, but give me your honest, dead opinion on Kyle Schwarber, years and if he returns to the Phillies.
Yeah, I'll keep this one quick because we talked a lot about it. He's back with the Phillies, 5 years, $150 million. The Reds can make all the noise they want. Apparently, the Pirates, obviously the Cubs are going to be interested. I think the Red Sox are going to be interested. All the teams he's been before, they know firsthand what a great teammate he is. Obviously, what a great hitter he is. But Philly's got to have him, man. He's got to be priority number one. He is priority number one. He's going to stay with the Phils, $30 million a year over 5 years.
Yep, I like it. I think he's got to return. We've made it very clear that Kyle Schwarber being back in this lineup is really what the Phillies team needs. And it's interesting to see Phillies fans kind of go against that now. It's like, do they want to bring Kyle Schwarber back? Yes, of course you do. I don't know why you wouldn't. Now, his comments, I don't know if you saw them on, I believe it was Wednesday night. He made some comments. He was doing something. He got a baseball field named after him.
In Middletown.
Ohio,
suburb of Cincinnati.
Bingo. And, he was asked about it, did a little media availability, was asked about that. And, kind of made it clear that it would be great to come back home, all that stuff. I just don't know if the Reds have that. The biggest contract the Reds have ever given out was the Nick Castellanos and Mike Moustakas. That was 4 years for $64 million.
Right.
Did they have $128 million over 4 years? I don't know.
Yeah.
But long story short, that's to say, Kyle Schwarber returns on a 4-year, $130 million contract with the Phillies.
Okay, 4 years. Interesting. All right. That'd be great for the Phillies if they can do 4 years.
Get him to age 37?
Yeah. Yeah. It is a lot of deals then. Like they're taking these guys in their late 30s. So Trey's here till he's 40. Bryce is here till he's 40. Schwarber would be to his late 30s. JT is 35 now. If you sign him to 2 or 3 years, it's 38. So I get it. Like if you look at baseball and the track records of these guys, they're going to start going down. I just think you have to do it. You got to win a World Series in the next couple of years here.
You do,
and you deal with the bad contract at the back end of it. But
bingo.
You got to win with this group, and Schwarber is this group, frankly. Like, he is the heart and soul of this group. So bring him back, deal with the late 30s. And I don't know. He's still going to hit to me. And he does
100%,
take up the DH spot. He doesn't give you a lot of flexibility there, but you got to have him these next couple of years if you're going to try to win a World Series.
Completely with you. And if you're the Phillies, I think we mentioned in the last podcast, you got to attack it sooner rather than later. I think the market, I think they're giving him his time to listen to the guys like the Reds or the teams like the Reds, and maybe the Red Sox a return to Boston could be in the cards for Kyle as well. But give him time to listen to some of these deals. But in reality, we'll come back. And it'd be wild to see Kyle Schwarber get $200 million. I don't think that's going to happen.
No.
We'll see, though. We'll see.
At least the Dodgers can't take him. They're DHs, thank God.
Spoken
for.
Can you imagine, though? They're like, hey, Kyle, we're going to need you in left field, actually.
Teoscar and Kyle in the same outfield.
Sure. Good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck with that outfield. All right, now to the final Philly, JT Realmuto.
Mm-hmm.
What are we thinking?
I mean, I'm still a big hoper. I guess I'm hoping against hope now that it can be a 2-year deal. It seems like everybody's starting to think it could be 3 years. I don't know who you're bidding against. It's going to give JT a 3-year deal. Although the catching market is thin, I think he's much more valuable to the Phillies than some other teams right now, just because of his knowledge of their starting pitchers, their pitching staff in general, and his stature in the locker room and the clubhouse. So, JT, I would like to see 2 years. My prediction is 3 years, $50 million.
Cool.
I haven't seen it a lot of money.
That's a lot of money, dude.
3 years, $50 million, but that's what, 17 a year.
Yeah,
that's probably what he's going to want. I would love to see 2 years and like $35 million.
That'd be perfect.
But I think he goes 3 years, and that's a 50 for him. 150 for Schwarber. I got to give him Bregman $200 million. It's not my money, John.
There goes
Middleton.
the threshold, baby.
Not my money. Obviously, I don't think Rangers coming back, but yeah, that's a lot of money they're throwing around. But they're going for it. They got to do it.
That's what we said.
Yeah.
John Middleton wants to spend money to bring that bleeping World Series trophy back. We've seen it the last 4 years.
Yeah,
they haven't got over that hump yet. I think you bring back. I don't think JT Realmuto is going anywhere.
Me neither.
No chance. Can't say
Never
no chance.
say no chance. Yeah.
Cannot say no chance because maybe someone overpays him. Maybe someone I don't know. I don't even know who would be out there to go after JT Realmuto. That would overpay him, but
still elite defensively.
100%.
Offensively,
even
he's
at age
decline.
35.
Objectively, he's declining offensively. I don't think you can argue that.
He was your best hitter in the NLDS.
To be expected.
Though. Goodness.
That's true. That's him and Nick.
Yep.
But yeah, no, I hear you. I think he's back.
I'm with you. I'm going to go 2 years, $35 million.
I would love that. That would be my
team-friendly deal. A little, I guess that's $17.5 million per year. You bring back JT Realmuto. And hopefully he's willing to take a little less money than maybe what he's expecting.
Right.
To come back to a team and really solidify, again, pseudo-captain defensively.
Yeah.
You have to bring him back.
For sure.
You have to bring him back.
Yeah.
All right, a fun little name that's out there. Devin Williams. Rookie of the year in 2020. Really was the Brewers' setup man when Josh Hader was there. Became their closer. Struggled. Spent last season with the Yankees. Not his best season.
No.
But in my opinion, one of the top relievers out there in the market, right behind Edwin Diaz.
Yeah.
I might even throw him above Edwin Diaz. I'm only throwing that name out there because it's really, really enticing for the Phillies. But what about Devin Williams for you?
Yeah, no, coming off a down year with the Yankees, still elite stuff. Like, his changeup is still one of the best pitches in baseball. You said, what he did in Milwaukee obviously was very, very good. One of the best premier relievers in baseball for the last handful of years. I don't know. I think he's a change of scenery guy. I don't see him going back to the Yankees. Phillies, that would be great. You mentioned the Dodgers looking for bullpen help. Don't count them out. Toronto. Devin Williams is an interesting name. You kind of forget about him because he was kind of a non-factor almost in that Yankee bullpen. Not a non-factor, but just didn't pitch particularly well, at least up to his standards. But a guy that, we'll have some, depending on where Diaz goes, I think he could be one of the next big reliever names on the market for sure.
For sure. Any contract-wise, I have something in my head, but...
All right, what do you got?
I got 3 years, $50 million for Devin Williams.
Yeah, that sounds right.
He'll be 31 in 2020 on opening day in 2026. I say that because there's a report that Ken Rosenthal brought out, I believe it was earlier this week, that the Phillies could be looking to move Matt Strahm.
Okay.
Potentially. So if you lose Matt Strahm, you need somebody in this bullpen. I think the Phillies could offer Devin Williams 3 years for $50 million to be that setup man for Jahan Duran. It would be lights out. You have the eighth inning guy, your ninth inning guy. You still have Jose Alvarado. Obviously, you still have a guy like Tanner Banks and all that stuff to kind of solidify the middle innings. But a guy like Devin Williams would be perfect here in Philadelphia, and that's kind of that's why I would want to bring him up in this situation. But another team that scares me, and I think we haven't really talked about it. They haven't really been talked about all offseason, but it wasn't expectations for the Atlanta Braves this year. I could see them going out and getting a guy like Devin Williams. They did just bring back Raisel Iglesias, but he struggled last season. If you're the Braves and you bring in a guy like Devin Williams, man, you solidify the back end of that bullpen, which we've seen them have guys like Will Smith. We've seen the guys had Craig Kimbrell when he was in his prime. I think the Braves are kind of quietly going to make some moves this offseason.
I agree. Yeah, you forget about the Braves because they had such a disastrous year. But yeah, they got some guys that can play, and I think they got some like bounce back candidates too, like a Spencer Strider, another year removed from his injury. Acuna I think is still one of the best players in baseball, though he had a down year last year. Riley was hurt last year. Olsen kind of had a down year. So yeah, those guys get it together, or at least some of them get it together. They can be right back in the mix, and yeah, that makes sense. They can add to their bullpen, and Devin Williams would be a guy that could certainly bolster their staff.
That it would. In the mix. Shout out to Johnny and SVP. Yeah. All right. So I think we really hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
There's a lot of lower tier guys that could be enticing for the Phillies. We will get into that in the next podcast. Harrison Bader is in there as well.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see what Harrison Bader does. We said he kind of declined that $10 million option.
Mm-hmm.
I think because he's looking for $12, maybe to $15 million per year.
Yeah.
But we'll get into that in the next podcast. We got to wrap this up. We're almost an hour in. But fun times. I just can't wait for the stove to get hot, man. And the way you're talking, man, Phillies could be spending a lot of money.
Yeah, Bregman's my pie in the sky.
The big fish.
I wouldn't bet on it, but that's my guy.
It'd be fun.
That he fits well. If they're going to do it, he's the guy. So we'll see. But would I be shocked if it's just you bring back Schwarber and Realmuto and then trade for an outfielder here, sign an outfielder, a 1-year deal? No. That's probably the most likely scenario. Leave Bohm at third base. So we'll see. But Bregman, he's the guy.
Go get him. Dave Dombrowski, John Middleton, you guys want to spend money?
Yeah.
Go do it. This is a big offseason for the Phillies. And I think it starts with Kyle Schwarber, and we go from there because I do think we're going to see a big trade at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Whether that's Alec Bohm, Matt Strahm, somebody along those lines. I do think the Phillies are going to make some noise this offseason once that stove gets hot. So, to wrap up, per usual, Dancing with the Stars. We didn't get to watch it.
Okay.
Because we were at the Garden.
Right.
But Sophia filled us in. And this is where it kind of gets weird. So that Whitney girl who was on Mormon Housewives, in my opinion, the best dancer. In my opinion, she killed it. But here's the thing. So like people didn't like her. So the TikTok community basically agreed to not vote for her.
Oh, you don't want to go against the TikTok community.
No, you do not.
They got some serious pull.
And so she's eliminated. So we're in the finals next week, Tuesday, coming up.
Okay.
It's going to be fun.
All right.
Couldn't tell you. It's Robert Irwin, Jordan Childs, Elaine Hendricks.
I know you'll keep me
Efron.
posted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun.
Okay.
Any other fun things to wrap it up?
No, I mean, all kinds
Fly
of fun
guys.
things. Fly guys, Sixers.
And you don't get a lot
Go
of drama
Birds.
here on the Phillies Talk podcast.
No.
But man, there's drama in the Philadelphia Eagles.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot going on there.
You're 8-2.
8-2, Super Bowl champs,
And
but
it's the end of the world.
all kinds of reports about
Your
guys
wide
not liking
receiver,
each other and frustrated.
Goodness.
Yeah. Interesting.
Whose side are you on?
I don't know. Like I get the
Let's do it.
frustration, but I'm a Team Hurts guy, man.
Same.
Like a guy wins games. And he's not turning it over. He's probably not taking as many chances as the receivers would like down the field. But I mean, he's 8-2. He's a Super Bowl MVP. And he wasn't Super Bowl MVP like 10 years ago. He was Super Bowl MVP like 10 months ago. So I'm good with his approach and what he's doing.
Same.
The defense is playing great. So really, offensively, you don't need to go out and score 35 points. You just need to not
Win
kill
games.
Yeah, exactly right. And he's winning games.
Isn't that the whole objective?
Yes, indeed. And his record is it speaks for itself,
That
both
it does.
regular season and postseason.
That it does. We're flyered up here, too. Getting ready for a big Flyers game against the Blues.
Mm-hmm.
If you're listening to this, you're going to know the score of that because this is coming out Friday morning. So, hey,
Yes, indeed.
hope everyone has a great weekend. Thanks for listening to the Phillies Talk podcast. We will be back hopefully next week before Thanksgiving, a little pre-Thanksgiving pod.
Okay.
By the way, where does that rank? Where does Thanksgiving rank?
It's my
for you?
favorite holiday.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah. It's always been my favorite holiday. The food, the football, hanging out. Yeah. I mean, obviously I love Christmas too, but there's a lot of not stress, but a lot of like you got to, you get gifts, you're shopping, you're getting, Thanksgiving. It's none of
stressful,
that.
man.
You just sit down, you hang out, you have a good time.
Yep.
You watch some football, you have some good food.
And are you a late shopper?
Yeah. Yeah, I am.
Yeah, same.
I'm trying to get better at it in my old age or my older age here, but yeah, I tend to wait till the last minute.
Same.
Which, no, I need to. Yeah, and now it's you need to get moving on that kind of stuff.
It stressed me out because Soph the other day was like, "Yeah, we're done. I'm done already." I'm like,
Oh yeah, it's crazy.
"That's nuts." I don't even know what to get you. What are we talking about?
You don't have to get me anything, Spence. This podcast every week is enough for me.
Let's go.
That's all the gift I need.
And really, it's the gift that keeps on giving.
It really is, as you said.
That keeps on
We'll
giving.
see you next week.
All right, we're landing the plane. Thanks for listening to the Phillies Talk podcast. Everyone have a great weekend. We could see the stove get hot here shortly, and once it does, we'll be here to cover it all. So thanks for listening. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you soon.